Hello everyone, and today I want to make a tier list on all these types of farms. I remember Mumbo Jumbo made one quite a while ago, but that was, again, a long time ago. I think it was still when 1.14 was just coming out. So now we have a bunch of new farms to look at. Also, let me know in the comments how you like this sort of type of video, because normally I just showcase the contraption or go in my survival world, but let me know how you like this type. Anyway, let's get started. Let's start with the slime farm. So slime, I'm gonna say slime goes in S tier. Depends on what type of slime farm you get, but if you make one of those super fast ones, that's really epic, and I just love that stuff. Now, like in his video, we separated these into 1.14 and 1.13 and below. So, I'm gonna start with 1.13 and below. I'm gonna also maybe put this in S tier because let me show you what they look like actually. So this is what an old iron farm looked like. This is from 1.12 and this one was made by Comet 107 and it's a 512 village iron farm and they were just so cool in my opinion. You actually needed redstone, you had to know how the village mechanics worked. Now you just plop a bunch of villagers and scare them with a zombie or something. But anyway, yeah, this is not really to do with speed, because with speed, I think maybe you could get more efficient with the 1.14 and above, because with 1.13 and below, you kind of limited by the villager detection radius and stuff, but with 1.14 and above, you're just limited by lag mostly. But, I don't know, I'm gonna give it a low S tier, because they can be made super efficient, but they're just not as cool, so that's my reasoning. Alright, next, any type of spawner farm. I just grouped them all together because I think in the late game you don't really use them that much, but in early game, I'm gonna give it a good C, maybe like a high C or a low B tier, and maybe like a low B. The reason is that oftentimes spawners, unless you get like a double or triple spawner, they're just really slow, and it's super annoying to get XP from them, and the most common type in the overworld is a zombie spawner, and yeah, basically, I mean, like, they're not really that useful in the late game, but in the early game it's useful to get some form of automated XP farm. Okay, next, the melon and the pumpkin farms. So, for melon, I'm gonna give it maybe a low A, because I mean, sorry, for pumpkin, because they're kind of useful. Sometimes with the skeleton farms, you need carved pumpkins, and maybe I'll actually raise it up to a high A. So just just because I think they have a little bit more use. Melons, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a maybe a high C, because they're kind of useful for villager trading. Like you can get 1 emerald per melon. But still, pumpkins are better for trading because you don't have to craft anything. And yeah, as a food source, melons suck. Okay, anyway, next, carrots, potatoes, and wheat and bread. So these are all the villager type farms. Maybe I'll throw in villager breeders as well. So villager breeders, if I was to do this completely based on my opinion, then I would rank them way lower. But I want to be kind of objective here. I just don't like villager-based farms. I think it's a pain to make in survival. Anyway, villager breeders, I think they're very useful because you get really cool enchantments when you get those librarian villagers, really cool trades from the other ones. I don't know, I think I'm gonna give it maybe a low S tier. Okay, so this is the villager breeder. So now I'm gonna do something that you probably won't like with the bread and the wheat. I'm gonna say wheat is more useful than bread because honestly, who eats bread as a food source? And wheat you can craft into hay bales, which are sometimes useful in mob farms when you want to stop mobs from taking so much fall damage. Whereas bread, the only thing it's good for really is just feeding them to villagers so that they can breed, and just eating it. So like, and it's not that good of a food source. I mean, it's okay, but it doesn't give much saturation. So I'm gonna say wheat is a high B. Not that, sorry. Wheat. Bread, I'm gonna put it high B. Okay. High C. So that's my opinion on it. I don't think we've actually had any super bad farms yet. Okay, next, carrots and potatoes. I'm gonna give the carrot maybe like a low high A, because if you have a gold farm, it's a really good food source sometimes. I prefer steak, but people often like golden carrots. So I'm trying to be a little bit objective there. Potatoes, I mean, you can bake them, but you only really eat baked potatoes in the early game. So I'm gonna say maybe like a low B. They're kind of useful early game if you don't have access to a lot of cows or sheep or anything, but you have some potatoes. Alright, next, different types of nether mob farms. So we have the gold farm, blaze farm, wither skeleton farm, all fortress mob farm. So these are, I just chose some mob farms here. Gold farm, I'm gonna give it a high A. So Blaze Farm, this is kind of tricky. Yeah, okay, low S because super good fuel source, but that's really the only thing you get from it, just fuel and XP. Okay, next a Wither Skeleton Farm. So this, in Mamba's video, he considered Wither Skeleton Farm as an all-fortress mob farm. This is what I mean by all-fortress mob farm is where you get all the fortress mobs like zombie pigmen, the blaze and the withered skeletons, and normal skeletons. You get them all in one spot and you kill them, right? So that's an all-fortress mob farm. A purely withered skeleton farm is where you kill off everything else, and you only bring the withered skeletons to you. And these are obviously more efficient because you don't have to clog up the mob cap with the other mobs. So with the skeleton farms, I'm gonna give it a high S. I really love with the skeleton farms. They're just super cool. They don't give that much XP because it's only about as much as an Enderman farm. But still, with the skeleton farms are super cool though. All fortress mob farm, I guess it gives gold, not as much as a gold farm, a good gold farm. And it gives blaze. It's kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none type of thing. Although they can be really good, like Fallen Breath's one was really epic. I'm gonna say Fallen Breath's farm pulls it up to a high ass as well because they just look so cool, like you just swiping at all those mobs at the same time. Alright, next, these types of farms, so the more nether plants. So we have nether wart, we have these two, and we have these two. So I'm gonna say netherwort. I really don't like farming it. I mean, it can be useful for brewing, but I think it's gonna get a high Z because it's useful, so that's why it's a high Z, but I really, really don't like it. Maybe it could scrape a low E. Yeah, maybe. Okay, low E it is. These, I'm not sure which one exactly it was that you could automate it completely. Maybe both. I'm gonna give it a low S tier because I don't know. I don't really like these woods. They look kind of cool, I guess, for building maybe. And yeah, they kind of shine a bit, so that's cool. But I don't know. I don't really like them that much, to be honest. But I know that you can make them fully automatic, which is really epic, in my opinion. Anything that can be fully automated is cool. Now these I think you can make farms for these. I'm gonna give them a low A tier because, I don't know, I guess they're kind of useful for when you need to just grow a couple of these. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly, but anyway, let's move on. We have a sugarcane farm, beetroot farm, cocoa bean farm, grass farm, leaf farm. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna stop for now. Alright, so sugarcane farm, it's really useful when you want paper for trading with villagers. And for rockets, I'm gonna say it deserves a low S just for the rockets. Now, beetroot farm, yeah. Cocoa beans, I mean, you can make cookies out of them. High E because they have at least some, maybe low E. Low E for cocoa beans. Now the grass farm. So the grass farm, just for the memes, I think it's gonna get a high B. I don't think it's that useful, but I mean grass farm, okay. I'm gonna be releasing that on my 420 sub special. Okay, leaf farm, they're kinda slow. And I don't see the use for them except sometimes mob farms need a lot of leaves. But they're very slow and they only work for birch leaves, most of the time because birch trees are the most kind of generic, not generic, but I mean they're the simplest trees. They just have a stem and the leaves around them, whereas oak trees sometimes they grow branches. and every other type of tree. It's kind of weird. So I don't know, maybe like a low C. I don't feel that they're that useful to the average player. Alright, next we have a witch farm, tree farm, cobblestone farm, smooth stone farm. So not the smooth stone, but like the normal stone. Ice farm, a general mob farm, a creeper farm, and an ender dragon farm. So witch farms, I think that's gonna go in S. I'm probably gonna thin this out a bit eventually at the end, but I mean, for now I just think there's a bunch of farms that are really cool. Tree farms, I really want to put it in S, but again, it's getting crowded. I think it's gonna get a high A. Just because tree farms are really cool, but you need player interaction and you need bone meal, and they're really useful though, so I'll give them that. Cobblestone farm, Mumbo Jumbo said it they used in a bunch of crafting recipes, so just a TNT powered cobblestone farm is gonna get low A because they're not that interesting in my opinion. They're kind of boring. You just put a TNT duper and some stone generators. Smooth stone farm, so just this type of stone where you use a silk touch pick, efficiency 5, haste 2, and then you get a bunch of stone pushed in front of you. So Mango made one that's super fast, like 72,000 ice per stone per hour, because you can break one block per tick. I think that's gonna get a high A, just because of the cool redstone. Ice farms, S tier, I wanna say S tier, but again, it's getting crowded. I don't know. Ice isn't that useful. I mean, you build ice roads, right? But some people prefer piston bolts, as well as the fact that ice, I don't know, but I feel like whenever you need ice, you need a lot of it, and when you need a lot of it, you want a fast farm, and those super fast, like 72k per hour ice farms, in my opinion, those like huge structures, they're really cool. I don't think I have a lighmatic of them. Yeah, no, I don't. Anyway, I don't know. I don't use ice that often, so I think it's gonna go here. I don't know. I would put it higher, but there's a bunch of stuff that's there already. General mob farms. So I think again, general mob farms are really useful early game. More than spawner farms, I think. In my opinion, they're better. So maybe like a high B, because if you build them in a perimeter, they can be really fast. But I don't know. They're not super fast for any one specific thing. Creeper farm. Now, depending on what type, it could be either really slow or really fast. I'm gonna put it up here in the, I don't know. They're not always as cool. If it was like, if I could choose one creeper farm to represent it all, and it would be the Psycraft one, I would say 100% like SSS tier. You know, let me get these woods out of the way. I don't really like them that much. And there. So that's my opinion. I'm sorry, guys. I'm probably gonna make a world download so that you can change it all how you want. A dragon farm. I think the concept is super cool, but it messes with your end a lot. Like, it looks super ugly, and I mean, who needs that much XP? And it takes forever, and all you get is XP, to be honest. Like, all you get is just a bunch of XP, which is not really useful for anything, because at some point in the game, you don't really do enchanting that much, or that much anvil stuff, so, like, it's mostly just for the title, like, getting, I don't know, a million XP levels, but I'm gonna put it at a low A, because again, I don't find them super useful, but they are pretty cool in concept. I think the first one was made by Panda4994, and yeah, that was just pretty revolutionary because, like, I mean, come on, farming the Ender Dragon. Alright, but anyway, let's get on to our next stuff. So we have kelp, bamboo, raid farm, seagrass farm, sand farm, dragon egg duper, anvil duper. And I'll start on the next one, pickles. So kelp, I guess kelp blocks can be a good fuel source, but in my opinion, there is some better stuff, like the next one. So kelp would maybe a high E tier, I think, actually, because I mean, This is 2021, we don't really use kelp anymore. Alright, bamboo. So bamboo, I think I want to put it high, but it got a low burn time. Um, I think you can craft some stuff from it, but still, I mean, scaffolding although. Scaffolding is sometimes useful, so maybe it's gonna get a high B just for that. But still, I don't think it's as useful as other stuff, and it's not that interesting as a farm either. Alright, raid farms. I'm gonna say raid farms, you get a lot of loot from them, especially I think CCS Covenant's raid farm, that was super epic. But I don't know, I don't feel like you I don't feel like he uses all that stuff. I mean, I think his was like 6 times the power of a witch farm or something. But I want to also factor in future proofing. Raid farms may eventually get nerfed. Kind of like they changed the whole mechanics of the 1.13 iron farms. Raid farms may get nerfed eventually, and you won't be able to make them super cool. So I'm gonna say low A because you get a bunch of useful stuff from them. I don't really use Totems of Undying, but I heard a lot of people do, especially in hardcore. Alright, seagrass. I guess if you're building with seagrass, but I mean you can just bone meal some stuff there. But still, handy to have a farm sometimes, but okay, sand dupers. I'm gonna put it here, okay? I'm gonna say dupers aren't allowed to go above B because they're dupers. But I have to say this is kind of Mojang's fault. They don't have a viable way of getting tons of sand. So yeah, I'm gonna say sand goes here. Sand dupers go there. Dragon egg dupers also no, maybe dragon egg dupers go here because um I mean obviously you use them for lamps, right? Okay, no, but I'm joking. Sometimes people they turn on the carpet rule that is dragon egg duping, dragon egg bedrock breaking, so that you can break bedrock like you used to in the old days. But not everybody uses that, so that's why it goes a place lower. Anvil dupers go down here. Okay, don't dupe this stuff because, I mean, sand duping is okay because it's not renewable easily. You can get it from wandering traders, but still. Dragon eggs aren't really renewable. Anvils are, okay? Just build a proper iron farm. You don't need to dupe anvils. Sea pickles, again, this is the sort of thing that, like, if you're building with it, you probably need a lot of it. But, I don't know. I'm gonna say here. I don't know. They're kind of useful for aligning items though, so that's why I think I put it a bit higher. Flower farm. This is just any of the bone mealable type flowers. That I mean, like when you bone meal some grass and it grows those flowers. Mushroom. Oh wait. Mushroom. These crimson plants. Weeping vines, twisting vines. These warped type of plants and the tall flowers. So these are the types that they're too tall and you can just bone meal the flower and it produces more. So ferns, I think it's gonna go in the same category as the pickles because again maybe if you're building with it it's super useful, but I don't know, I would put it lower, but again building. Okay, white tulips, or not that, but I mean like in general flower farms. I'm gonna say they're kind of cool. They're super simple most of the time, but still, sometimes you gotta build with flowers. Mushrooms, okay. I'm gonna say I don't know. They're really slow sometimes. I don't mean the big mushroom block farms. I don't even know if I have them here. Okay, whatever. I'll come back to that later. Um, these because you can turn them into bone meal. I would say they're kind of useful. So I'm gonna give it maybe a high B along with the warped variant. These, they're useful to stop entity cramming sometimes. So I'm gonna say these maybe go here just because sometimes they're useful for stopping entity cramming. And these, I'm gonna put them here. I mean, they might be useful for building, but the farm itself is pretty boring. You just bone meal a flower. Right, next, this, just sea turtle farms, ink farms, bone meal farms. chicken cookers, guardian farms, these hoglin farms, and wither rose farms. So these coral farms, I mean, I guess they're useful if you're making a bunch of TNT dupers, but still, I wouldn't say they're the most interesting thing in the world. I'm gonna put them here. Turtle farms, it's the same sort of thing as some other stuff. Like, you just need a couple turtle helmets, maybe, just like one or two, and then you're pretty much done with that farm. So I'm gonna say it goes here because it's also kind of boring in my opinion. Ink farms are useful when you're building a lot in black colors, but still, I mean, they're kind of useful. So I think I'm gonna put it here with some useful stuff like the flower farm, but I don't like the farm itself that much. Bone meal farms are useful for tree farms, so maybe it's gonna go here. Chicken farms. First of all, I think this is animal abuse. Second of all, they're really laggy, and I mean chicken isn't the best food source. There's better options. So I'm gonna say it goes here because it's fully automatic and you don't need that much effort, but it's super laggy, so that's why it doesn't go higher. Guardian farms, I think I'm gonna put this up here. And by Guardian Farms, I of course mean Nembon's Guardian Farm. Half of these farms are probably designed by Nembon. Hoglin Farms, I'm gonna say they're useful because they provide those pork chops, but they're overpowered. So I'm gonna put them maybe a bit higher than the chicken cooker. Might have to extend this out a bit. But anyway, with the rose farms, high C because sometimes some mob farms need wither roses, but whatever mob farms use wither rose for their actual killing method are really slow. Okay, give me one farm that uses the wither rose for the main killing method and is fast. Alright, so what do we have next? Nano farms, the normal vine farms, carpet dupers, we have the Nether star, so wither killers. I don't know if that counts as a farm, but why not? Just a fish farm in a river biome, a passive mob farm, an Enderman farm. I just realized, this is a melon block farm, and this is a melon slice farm. Melon slice goes here. Okay, so this is where melon slice goes. Melon block farms that use Enderman to kill, they use Enderman to pick up melon blocks and then you kill the Enderman. I would say those go up here just because it's a really cool type of farm. I think, again, Panda4994 created that. But melon slice farms, they go here. Dispenser nano farms. So I think they're kind of useful, but they're not fully automatic. I think they're gonna go here. Vine farms are usually slow, and if you don't want them to be slow, you have to make them big. And they're not that useful, to be honest, but vine farms would go here, I think. Alright, carpet dupers. Again, I'm following with the rule that no duper can go above this, high B. I'm gonna put it a bit lower here. I'm gonna honestly say that it's a low C because, I mean, they're kind of cool, and I guess if you're using carpets as a building block, then I guess they're kind of useful. But still, I mean, I don't like these duper that much because there's an other alternative. Okay, Nether Star, so Wither Killers. I'm gonna put it here in B because they're not that simple contraptions, but they're relatively simple compared to other stuff. So, and honestly, most people just trap them in the bedrock in the end and just kill them that way. They don't need an automated contraption. And it takes a long time, so it's only really worth it if you have like thousands of withers to kill. Okay, fish farms, I don't think fish is really that useful. You get a bunch of fish from the Guardian farms, so that's way better option. Melon slice farms I already put there. Beef. So this is like the all passive mob farms. So I'm gonna say it goes up here with the S because maybe a low S actually because it takes a lot of effort, but once you get it, it's really cool. Now, Enderman farms. I want to put them higher than the grinders, so I think they're gonna go here because they're useful for early game and late game if you just want a bunch of ender pearls. But other than that, they're not that good of an XP farm because they only produce, I think, like 60,000 per hour or 70,000 per hour. Pretty sure it's 60,000 per hour. But it's 3 times slower than a Guardian farm or a Blaze farm. It's not that good of an XP farm. Right, chorus fruit farms, pigman bartering setups, rabbit farms, drowned farms, sweetberry farms, honeycomb farms, honey farms, and shulker farms. These are for 1.17 and above, okay? Alright, so first, chorus fruit farms. I don't know, I'm gonna put them here. Sometimes maybe they're useful for making end rods, actually. They're useful for that, so maybe you can get a higher C tier. Okay, piggling bartering setups. I'm gonna give it high A, just because you get quartz. Rabbit farms, I'm gonna put them here, because I guess rabbit's foot, but still, maybe a bit lower. It's not that useful. It's only useful as a potion ingredient, and cooked rabbit as well, it's not that useful. Like, it's too much effort for what you get. So next, these drowned farms. If you make an end of light farm, it's super high effort, like it's insane how much time you need to put into it, but you get rewarded well. But I mean, how many tridents do you need? Like, let's be honest, how many times will it take for you to get tired of just throwing your trident around everywhere? I'm gonna put it here because they're high effort. Even the non-end of light farms are super high effort. Not super high effort, I mean, like, that's not what I meant. I just mean they're high effort for not getting something super useful. I mean, you get gold, but gold farms are better. Alright, sweetberry farms, I'm gonna put them here, I think. Nobody really uses sweetberries. Honeycomb farms. For building, I'm gonna say this is a pretty good thing, so maybe you would go here. For the builders. Honey farm, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna put it as high as the slime farm, okay? I think I'm gonna need to extend this out a bit because I want to put it in A. Right there. Extended that out. I think I'm gonna put honey farms here, because sometimes honey blocks are useful for mob farms, but I don't like honey as much as slime. I think honey is overrated. I don't like the farms themselves, okay? I know everybody probably thinks honey is the best block in the world, but I don't like them that much. Shulker farms go up here, okay? I don't know what else to say. Shulker farms, once we update to 1.17, I'm gonna be like the happiest person on the planet with shulker farms. Okay, that was a bit overdramatic, but still. Alright, here we have the stray farms, magma cube farms, string farms, cactus, snow layer farms, bee nest farms, and wait to see what this is. Stray farms, I think they're too high effort, and the only thing you get extra is just the arrows of slowness. So, actually, you know what? It goes here. Nobody uses arrows of slowness. Magma cream farm. I'm gonna put it here because I think it could be kind of useful if you don't want to craft. But if you can be bothered to craft, I would suggest just making a slime farm and a blaze farm. Okay, magma cube farms just won't be as efficient. Um, I don't mean the spawner farms. All the spawner farms go under this. So, I don't know, depends on how fast it is, but I guess you can make wool from it, which could be useful for building, so, and they can be made super fast, so I'm gonna put it in a high B tier. Okay, cactus farms, they give a bunch of XP if you smelt them, but green dye isn't that useful, but for the XP, I think I'm gonna give it a low B tier, because cactus itself isn't that useful, but sometimes you just want some quick XP, but still. Okay, snow layer farms, I guess if you're building with snow, then it's useful, but I think they're gonna go here. Bee nest farms, it's basically like a tree farm, but you go in a minecart and you break all the places where there would be a bee nest, and then, yeah. I'm gonna say it goes here. If you're making contraptions that use honey a lot, I personally try to choose stuff that doesn't use honey because I don't like honey. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, now this. If there was a diamond farm in the game, and I'm not saying that there is, and I'm not saying that there ever will be, okay? But if there was, where would I put it? I guess it would depend on the effort. I don't think I would like there to be a fully automatic renewable way of diamonds. So I think if there was ever a diamond farm, it would go here. And I feel like the game needs a little bit of that sort of thing. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!